Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV of Fredrick. My name is Callie Say and I'm here at Transwest and Trailer Sales. Now I've got a really special trailer here behind me today. This is one that I actually custom ordered and built for a customer. They're great customers out of Washington, and they built this Freedom to have something to throw their side-by-side in, enjoy some weekends away, something that they can roll around in when they retire. And it's gonna really suit their needs. The layout on this one is so cool. This is one that we put recliners in, which I think they're gonna get a really great benefit out of. Let's go ahead and start here up at the front. There's a lot of stuff underneath this roll-up door enclosure that I want to walk through here. Now, when we first built these Freedoms back in 2019, there wasn't really anything on the market like them. There's a lot of toy haulers out there that are made of fiberglass sides. You know, you've probably seen them blown to pieces apart on the side of a roadway if they get in a wreck. They're usually underrated on axles and tires. Now these Freedom models, they're actually a horse trailer shell with our really high quality Outlaw custom interiors. So these are trailers that are road tested. We've got Outlaws with Cimarrons, or Cimarron with Outlaw Conversions that have been on the roads for 20 years at this point, and they are still doing really well. So we wanted to bring that same high quality rodeo rig into the toy hauler industry to maybe have something that somebody will have really great resale value on, and it'll hold up to kind of the test of time. So the Freedom models were born. The Freedom models got a little more high tech than our horse trailers. We can still build them very similar to our horse trailers, but one of the things that we wanted to put behind the Freedoms were something that had a lot more boondocking capabilities. So you'll see a lot more of them have solar, a lot more of them have bigger fuel tanks so they can fuel their vehicles, but they can also run a generator for an extended period of time. We tried to upgrade the capacities on our black and gray tanks, try and put more water on them. Water is always a big issue on these trailers because unlike fifth wheels, where you've got all that underbelly storage, makes them really high, really uncomfortable to pull. These are a lot lower to the ground. We don't have that underbelly storage like we do on those models, and everything's a little more streamlined, a little more compact. So anyways, for the technology, a lot of these have inverters. We've gone to a Victron system, and we've been really happy. It's a very simple interface, but very good technology behind them. A lot of them have gone to the lithium batteries. This particular customer wanted the Lion Energy 1300 lithium phosphate batteries. So he did his own research on them. He found that they're more stable, they're easier to dispose, and they have better warranties. So we've got 6 of those on here. So he's got solar up on the roof. He's got 4 180 watt solar panels up on the roof. To maintain these batteries, he's got the ability to run his fridge, which is a 12-volt fridge. He's got the inverter, which will run like the microwave, some of the outlets. So it's going to really be set up if he doesn't want to run his generator, or he's in a place where he doesn't want to run it at night because it can be loud for people in a campground situation, then he can run a lot of the stuff that he's got just off of these batteries with that solar maintainer up top. So right underneath that, we have, and I love these big battery boxes, we've got our 30-pound propane bottles under there. We really don't mess around with the smaller 20-pound bottles anymore. Almost every customer I have, they will upgrade to that bigger bottle. And something, if you've owned a Cimarron with an Outlaw conversion before, you've probably noticed that we have to have these enclosed in their own box, but they've reduced the lip size on this here, so these are going to be a lot easier to take in and out than on our previous Freedom models. I think that's a really great upgrade. The customers on this trailer are kind of one of the first to get the benefit of that on these Freedom models. Dual electric over hydraulic jacks. Now Cimarron's frame and structure is built so strong that if I didn't have a slide and I were under a certain length, I could get away with a single leg jack because that trailer is going to be so stable. We don't need the dual electric jacks without a slide to stabilize that trailer. Anytime we throw a slide out on, we're automatically upgrading to dual electric over hydraulics. That's just to get you a little bit more level. The electric slides can handle a certain amount of tolerance for being out of level. Like I said, a lot of that has to do with the structure of the trailers themselves. They've got a really strong structure to help maintain a little bit of unlevelness, but we do want to kind of try and get it as level as possible, and that dual electric over hydraulic jack will help. Now, something I do tell people is that the frame is so strong on these that if you're parked somewhere really out of level, if you try and throw one of these jacks too far beyond the other one, you're not going to twist the frame. One of the jacks is just going to start coming off the ground. I think that's a really strong testament to how strong the floor and the structure is on a Cimarron. We actually have 4-inch centers with V-trusses every other running along this, minus wherever the tanks interrupt that. So it's got one of the strongest floors on the market in the horse trailer industry, and it probably blows every competitor out of the water on the toy hauler industry. So really great floor structures. You'll notice everything is kind of interlocking on a Cimarron. So like the bottom rail will lock into the side extrusions, and it just increases the strength a lot. Because instead of having to weld two pieces of aluminum together, they've got an interlocking piece that will help add additional strength. So Cimarrons are really great if you want something that's going to hold up for the long run. Underneath here, I like to always point out all of Outlaw's wiring here. They do an amazing job at making it really easy to maintain these trailers and to make sure if somebody's working on them, they know exactly what they're looking at. Inside, I'll show you in one of the cabinets, we've got a 24/7, 365-day customer support line. That if you've got a tech working on this in the middle of the night, there's somebody that will answer your questions if you call. So that, I think, is just a really great feature that Outlaw has. But you can see if a technician has to work on it, everything is labeled. Everything is run nice and clean. You don't just have a jumble of wires. Our techs love working on these Outlaw conversions because it is so clear on what they need to do if they're trying to fix a certain item. And then if they have a problem, all the way back from when Outlaw's been building trailers, they have the schematic of every trailer they've ever done, every wiring diagram, so they know how to help a trailer or how to help a customer if they have some trouble that they're working with. You need to know the model and the last of your VIN, and they can pull up your trailer for you for a technician. Right over here we have our little RedArc charger. This has been a really nice feature for anything with electric over hydraulic jacks. We see that one of the biggest things we have issues on when we hook up a lot of trucks and trailers is that the 12-volt fuse is blown on the truck. This is going to indicate if you're getting 12-volt supply from your truck to your trailer with these little indicator lights over here. And it's also going to increase the amount of charge that comes off your truck and charges those batteries. So not only are we pulling solar panel or solar power, but we're also able to charge off of the truck as well. I love that thing because if you do hook up to a trailer that, or a trailer that has like too low of batteries, instead of blowing the fuse in your truck, it's gonna pop a circuit on this and it's gonna reset, and you won't have to go in and replace your 12-volt fuse. So that's something that is standard on any Cimarron that has electric over hydraulic jacks. We've started putting them on, I believe, last year, and we've been really, really happy with the company RedArc. We've got a lot of their solar panels now, some of their batteries. They're a really cool company out of New Zealand, I believe, and we do a lot of business with them. We do, under this one, have some nice additional storage, and then we've got God, these close so nice and clean. I love these Cimarron battery boxes. We do have an electric over hydraulic braking system here. So we've got disc brakes. They're 8,000-pound axles on this one, and we upgraded to 18-ply Coopers. So there's some good running gear under this trailer. If he needs to stop it, these electric over hydraulic disc brakes have so much more strength to the stopping power than regular electric brakes. And then that electric component will increase the speed at which those brakes do respond. So something this size, this trailer's 32 foot on the floor with a 9-foot nose. So you're just under 40 feet on this, or sorry, you're just over 40 feet on this one. we want to have a lot of stopping power on this. A common misconception is Cimarron is an aluminum trailer company, is that they're really light. But as you'll see, if you look down this trailer here, all the extrusions, the quality of the aluminum we use, the heavy duty hardwood interior that we put into these living quarters, they add a lot of weight. So it's not something that is going to be chintzy and lightweight and you can haul with a half ton. Like, you're going to need a good truck for this. We'll get an empty weight on this one, run it over the scales, and it's something that we do for all of our trailers when they come in here. But you know, you need a good sized truck to haul these. They usually come in the 14,000 pound plus weight, empty, and then you go and add your toys, your water, your food, everything like that, and you can get up there. I don't think there's really a better hauling aluminum trailer on the market. I think Cimarron does a really good job of balancing where their axles are. They have engineers that decide based on weight distribution where those axles need to be placed. So they're not just building the trailers, sticking the axles at the same place for every trailer. They do their best to calculate the weights to make sure that you have a really nice, smooth pulling trailer. Something you'll see on a lot of our Freedom models is this spread axle design. Now, I said these have two 8,000 pound torsion axles, but we did a spread axle. And what the spread axle does, it not only looks really cool, but it also helps get some of that weight off the tongue. These ones can be kind of tongue heavy, so if we can spread and distribute some of that weight, it'll haul more like a triple axle, which is nice and smooth pulling down the road, but it kind of helps get some of that weight off. So looks cool, but it has some nice function to it. Now, up above here, this trailer is 7'10" tall, 8'4" wide. So we wanted something that was going to be really easy to put big toys in. The height helps with what we've got there at the ramp to get those toys in and out and over that threshold there. Right above here, we've got a nice big armless awning. So you don't have those arms that you're going to run into in the middle of the night. They kind of just scissor out, and it gets a really nice clear expanse for your awning. We like putting those on these Freedoms. There's not anything to run into, and they just give it a really cool, clean look. Now we're gonna get into the living quarters here. But like I said, this trailer has a lot of tech on it. And one of the things they did here was this Truma tankless water heater. Now, the water heater fits in the same area as a regular 6-gallon, 10-gallon water heater component would fit, but it's gives you so much more space on the inside of the cabinet. It's only taking up about this much space for the interior. Very simple to use. It's got a mixing vessel here, so you know, a lot of tankless water heaters, one of the biggest struggles you have is it's very cold and then all of a sudden it's boiling hot. So this mixing vessel helps kind of maintain that water temperature a little bit, so you're having nice consistent showers. You know, if they're hooked up to somewhere where they've got constant running water, they can have a nice long hot shower, which is pretty unheard of in a regular horse trailer toy hauler. So really cool components there. We've done, I believe this is our second trailer we've done the Truma system on. So it's just kind of nice. We're bringing some of the technology. Like I said, these Freedoms kind of bring some of the technology into the future for us. We've got these nice exterior spotlights here. So if somebody's sitting out under the awning, you're gonna have the ability to have rope lights up above, and then these kind of lower spotlights. Gives you a nice place to hang out at night. Nice little grab handle to get in and out, fold up step since we are 8'4" wide. And I think this is right in here where we really gain a lot of the value. They did an absolute amazing job picking out colors on this trailer. One of the cool things about building an Outlaw conversion is if you want to go custom, you can go and pick out all your colors and designs at Outlaw. It gives you the ability to kind of see all the finishes in person. We've noticed that sometimes when you when you build something and the pictures that they send, they don't always transpose to what they look like in real life. So if you can go down to Outlaw and pick out your colors and finishes, put it all together, see all the selections they have, I think that is just a really great experience. Another thing I really like about it is it lets the customers see kind of what Outlaw does behind the walls as far as insulation and wiring and everything. It just gives them a real appreciation for all the time and effort that is put into their trailers. I've never had anybody leave Outlaw after a tour and picking colors without being really excited and just really appreciating the quality of the product that they're going to receive. Something really cool that this customer did, and we've done it on a couple now, but they did spray foam insulation in the sidewalls, the floor, the slide out components. So spray foam insulation is kind of new to the horse trailer toy hauler industry. I've got customers that run their trailers in Wyoming in the winter, Montana in the winter, Texas in the summer, and I think that Outlaw has always had the best insulation, hands down. I think the spray foam insulation is an even bigger game changer. We've got customers that said, like on a really cold morning, you know how you can see all of the exoskeletons on trailers where all the condensation pools. He doesn't see that on his trailer that has spray foam insulation, and you know, it just makes the heating and cooling system so much more efficient. It's a lot more comfortable for people that want to do it. So that's an option that we've got. It's something we've been doing on a lot of trailers going forward. Now this is a 16.5-foot living quarters, and something to keep in mind is it is a straight wall. So a lot of people that are used to the horse trailers, they're used to a 16.5 short wall with a 20.5 long wall. So a 16.5 I feel like is more comparable to about a 14-foot short wall in a standard horse trailer. We do have like some of the bathrooms, because we square that wall off, they get a little bit smaller, but what we want is we wanted to gain a lot of usable space in the garage area of this trailer. A lot of toy haulers you see, they've got only 12-foot garages, and one of the benefits of having a Cimarron is structurally we can go bigger. You can put bigger toys in it. You don't have to drive a second truck and trailer to get where you're going. One of my favorite features on this one here is these recliners. You guys have probably seen some of our Freedom videos where we have kind of this center entertainment system, dual access into the nose, raised bar top, but we generally had either a couch or a dinette. These recliners you will see a lot more of. I think there's a lot more people that don't need that secondary bed option in the living quarters. We do have fold-over sofas in the garage area, so if they want to bring some family along, they've got a separate kind of living area for them. But the recliners are so much more comfortable if there's two people. We've got the TV here that does kind of swivel out on that cabinet, which gives you some cool access. When this is slid out, they can watch movies. They've got this cute little fireplace down here. This was a must-have for them. They chose to go with more of the log cabin style. As you can see, there's a lot of like log cabin inspiration on this one. Their colors were great. We don't always see a lot of this lighter wood turn out really good, but I think that the picture speaks for itself. They did an amazing job. This is all hardwood cabinetry, so you'll see screws instead of like trim just being tacked up, and it generally falls down over time with all the vibration that trailers get. Outlaw builds everything in-house. They've got their own cabinet shop. They stain, they laser level, they dry fit all the cabinets, and then they take them out and finish them, and then they put them back in. So each cabinet is built for each trailer. It's not just a run of cabinets that they've made and they're making it work. Each trailer is custom built to the cabinets, or the cabinets are custom built to each trailer that is provided. So this is one of our last ones with an electric slide out. We've gone to electric over hydraulic slides, or hydraulic slides for just about everything else. The weight is a little bit heavier on a hydraulic slide. I think this was about the last one that we've got. The slide out, we don't have a ton of weight because we've got these recliners, so we're not having to worry about about water in this one. This one does have 2 tanks, so we've got a 30 and a 40, 70 gallons of fresh water, which, like I said, water is probably one of my hardest things to accomplish on these toy haulers. It's hard for me to get 100+ gallons of water, not only for weight, but just where do you put it? So that was a good challenge that we had on this one. The dual access into the nose. I'm going to show you guys the cool little sliding doors they had here. They did the cross with the barnwood behind, and you'll see they carried that barnwood into the slide. Just makes a really cool accent, gives it more of that cabin vibe that they were looking for. I love how this one turned out. These do lock back as you travel. It's really important you always lock your sliding doors when you travel, because these are hardwood and they could do some damage if you forgot to lock them up. Up in the nose area, we do have a queen memory foam mattress. That little box out there is a camera system that the customers sent to Cimarron and they had installed. So they've got side angle cameras and a backup camera, and that is an option. We can do cameras here as well. Sometimes if you're doing the side cameras, it's a little easier to have Cimarron do them just during the build process. Right above the nose there, they do have a max air fan, and if you guys saw outside, we do have the max air covers over each of the fans, so they can run these in any type of weather. They're going to be a little more protected from hailstorms or anything like that. That is something I always recommend. If you're going to do a max air fan, put one of those max air covers on it if you can. It's going to help protect your investment. Nobody wants one of those max airs to get hailed in and then you get water damage during a storm. So that's something that I have a lot of customers add. We did the smoke covers, so they look really good. You can hardly notice them as you drive down the road. You will notice that on this particular trailer, we've got day nights and these snap out blackout curtains. So these window coverings are the same as the wall material. They went with the same as the ceiling, which I think is a really nice contrast, but this is a great option for people that know they're going to be traveling somewhere. They don't know if they're going to be sleeping somewhere with a lot of lights. Like if you stop in a parking lot to take a nap or something, you can really black out this trailer, get a lot of privacy. Because those day nights are nice, but they filter light. They don't block it out. So especially in the bed area, it's nice to add those snap covers if you want a little more light. You're somewhere where you don't mind having the sun wake you up. You can take those off and store them really easily. Right underneath the bed, we do have the single leg table with the carpeted base. That's a nice option just if you have you want somewhere to eat. I mean, you've got the dinette options, but that single leg table, you can kind of move it around wherever you want in here and give yourself somewhere to do some work or eat. As you can see, these little stair cover treads, they've got the LED lights underneath. I think almost every customer I've custom built a trailer for recently has added these. We love lights, we love soft lights. It just really gives the trailer a nice mood, and it just makes it so easy to get in and out. Everything on this trailer is pretty much on a dimmer. So they'll throw storage wherever they possibly can on an Outlaw conversion. But we've got all these dimmer switches on everything. So, I said nice soft light, kind of different mood lights. You've got the ability to dial these up and down based on the time of day or kind of whatever mood you're feeling. We do have tank heaters on this one right here. Holding tank heaters are kind of a nice option if you're going to be running a trailer all 4 seasons. We do venting into the cabinets to keep those water lines nice and warm. We make sure we run all the water lines on the interior. So this is set up as a 4 seasons trailer. That's something that we didn't do on the first run of trailers that we had. I think a lot of people with the Freedoms, they want the ability to run these things year round. So it was a really great option, the spray foam, the heated tanks, and then ducting all the heat where we could. So they're gonna be able to use this thing year round and kind of go wherever they want. It's gonna be really, really fun for them. The generator system on this, it is an Onan 7000. We do have multiple AC units on this trailer. So having the ability to have 40 gallons of fuel on this one, we built a little bit bigger fuel tank for them. We have an exterior fueling station, but this generator, this gas gen, will pull off of that fuel tank. So you don't have to have additional fuel reservoirs for your generator. You can just pull right off that same tank that you fill your toys with. It's got a start-stop switch here. There's one on the generator itself. You can see the amount of fuel you have, how many hours. Generators are meant to be run. We see this all the time. Customers brag when they want to trade a trailer in how low hours their generators are. It could be a 20-year-old trailer and they're like, yeah, the generator only has a few hours on it. That actually makes us a little nervous because number one, fuel goes bad, so we want to constantly be running that fuel or putting fuel additives in it. And number two, they're little engines. So you wouldn't park your car for 7 years and then just expect it to fire right up and go. Generators, we recommend starting them at least once a month, running them for about an hour. Something with higher miles or higher hours is probably a little more appealing to us if we know it's been run consistently than something that's really low hours and we know we might have some maintenance issues on. So generators, really easy to use. If he doesn't want to use his generator, he's got his inverter. So it's a Victron 2000 watt inverter. It's very, like I said, very simple interface. You've got a charge only and off and on, and then you control how much power the inverter is charging those batteries on. So the inverter system, we have this computer that we can plug in and we can set all the settings for the battery type, how the usage is going to be, and we have somebody that comes to Transwest and does that for us when the trailer arrives. So they'll go in and make sure all those settings are correct for the customer. But very simple system. It's kind of a set it and forget it type of thing if they don't want to worry about it. Right back here, you do have your TV cabinet. So I did mention they throw storage wherever they can. So we're going to have the ability to have some additional storage back there. We've got this nice little bar top. These are Corian countertops. So this was a nice little upgrade that they did. They put the biggest sink they could in here. They've got this faucet that has the movable wand. I think that the worst thing to have to do in a trailer is to wash dishes. So having a nice big sink with this this sprayer that is very movable is a really nice option. I always tell people put the biggest sink you can in because we'll give you a nice cover for it for additional counter space, but nobody wants to have to wash dishes in a sink that's this big. So that's been a nice improvement on these customer ones. They've all kind of upgraded the sink size. These bar stools over here, they covered them in the same material that they kind of did the accents on the recliners and the valances on. They pick their tiles down at Outlaw. I think this coppery color that comes through really ties into their finish as well. And then another big thing they did is they chose what type of convection microwave they wanted. This has an air fryer feature. So we're really excited to see how that turns out. I was messing with it a little bit this morning. It's got its own little temperature probes right here. We're excited to see how it turns out. We hope that they cook us a snack when they're here doing the walkthrough to see how it all works. But that's something that the customers special requested. So if you have something particular you want, Outlaw's going to do their best to make sure that it works out. I had mentioned how much less space that tankless water heater takes up. You can see you've gained so much storage because on a 6-gallon, it would take up almost that whole space. We'd probably need even more for a 10-gallon hot water heater, like a traditional. All their drawers have kind of that stop on them, so you can see it just takes a little bit of pressure to pull them in and out. This is your big Outlaw book. Every Outlaw conversion gets one. And it's gonna have all your manuals, some troubleshooting, but it's also gonna have the contact informations for Outlaw. Outlaw does have a transferable warranty. So First 3 years, if you buy an Outlaw and you sell it to somebody else, they're going to get the benefit of that additional Outlaw warranty. And it's very simple. You just pay Outlaw a small little check, and they'll transfer that warranty to you. Cimarron is the only conversion company currently that offers a 3-year interior, 3-year exterior between the two manufacturers. So your trailer is covered tip to tail for 3 years for any warranty issues. We love that about our Cimarrons. We feel really good about the product that we sell. Once again, just more storage. What's cool with this cabinet, it actually goes on both sides, so if you want to open that, we can open that door on the other side to reach some harder to access items. They're even going to throw storage up above the microwave. This trailer 7'10" tall, so just stand on my tiptoes a little bit there. Great storage on this one. This trailer, they really put a lot of storage wherever they could on it. These are all adjustable shelves, so if they have some taller items they want to put up high, they can adjust these shelves. One of my favorite features on this one, there's never a place to put a trash can on these trailers. And they have a dedicated trash receptacle location. I think that is just the coolest. You will notice that on most horse trailers you walk in, they've always got a trash can just randomly sitting somewhere. To have one built in is just a really, really nice feature. The little things. This is the 12-volt fridge that they requested. So we do have 6 batteries on this one with the solar and the generator. You know, Outlaw generally does the electric propane combos on their trailers, like the Dometics or the Norcolds, but having an all-electric kind of was a customer request, and they you know, run a lot of tests on it, so having all the power that they've done, they should be just fine, but it is something that Outlaw generally doesn't do. Up here, up above, they've got even more storage. And you'll notice everything is ducted for the AC as well as the furnace. We even have some ducting from the furnace into the garage area. So if they want to take the chill off, it gives them the ability to have some heat pumped back there. This is your bathroom area. Like I said, not quite as big as what you get on your horse trailers generally. We are working with a straight wall. I love this dual rod closet that they've got. It is so much storage on this one. They can hang all their clothes and, you know, have his and hers, and lots and lots of room here. They've got trap doors everywhere for access to electrical components or your water components. Right under here, you can see a lot of their components are here for the water system. So you got one of your water pumps, one of your tanks, and everything is once again run with house grade tubing and everything like that. So it's not something you're going to see just garden hoses underneath the trailer. Everything is done really up to par. Your toilet, you've got a ceramic toilet, not just a plastic toilet. Some people will do like a leather poof on the toilet. It just kind of depends on what the customer requests. We did clear shower doors on this one. Generally we do a lot of opaque ones, and I really like how this turns out. It just kind of makes it a little bit more modern. These kind of just slide right over. They did delete the skylight. They didn't want to have to deal with the skylight on theirs. That is an option that you can always add if you're building one. We do it on a lot of them just because these are a little bit raised up, so if you're taller, some people like having the light right above them. We do see that they do get hail dinged sometimes, so it's kind of nice to not have an area that is susceptible to that. And this trailer's 7'10" tall, so good chances that most people are going to be just fine in something like this. Another max air fan right above. It also has a cover, so they can run it in all weather. And then you've got your vanity up here. Nice, nice storage space. Got little ledges here so that nothing's going to come flying out at you, hopefully, when you go to open it. Their backsplash they carried in from that kitchen area. And then once again, great storage under here. Those trap doors, you're not going to have any wires or anything to snag on. if you put things in there. I love that about my Outlaw Conversions. Everything's done really clean and neat. Now we work our way into the garage area. Now the garage area is where it's usually where it starts, because these trailers are built at Cimarron first, and then they're shipped down to Outlaw Conversions, where we put the interiors in. So besides like the rollover sofas and the doors here, everything else is done at Cimarron back in this area. These cabinets are really neat. So we've got these flip-up cabinets, lots of storage up there. Great storage in this cabinet here. And Cimarron builds all these cabinets. They've got a flip-down countertop workspace right here. These are two-way roof vents that we put in. This is actually just to be compliant, since they are hauling a vehicle that will off-gas in here. So to have some ventilation, they can pop those open. This is our 7,000 Onan gas generator right here. This thing's been running the whole time while we've been doing this video. It's nice and quiet. You can carry your conversation very easily in here. It's a little bit warm, but not something you're gonna burn yourself on, because we do a lot of insulation on the inside of these when we build them. We did bevel these, so you've got a lot of your ventilation right here, but the reason it's beveled is so that you can run a side-by-side nose underneath here up to the front if you need to. Spare tire right under here. Just gives you, I think it's a lot easier to access, to be honest, but we kind of ran out of space underneath the nose there between the big battery boxes, the electric over hydraulic pumps, and the propane tanks there. So big 17.5-inch tire, 18 ply Coopers. We really like the warranties that these Coopers offer, and they're a really good, strong running tire. We do have an AC unit back here as well. So that's on its own thermostat control. It's got a heat pump on it. And then right above that, you do have your controls for another max air fan. So they're gonna get a lot of ventilation on this. They're gonna be able to control the temperatures kind of how they want. This is another CO2 detector, because we do have the generator right here. This thing is well sealed, but we've got people that could potentially be sleeping in here, so we wanna make sure they're nice and safe. You'll notice all the walls are lined and insulated, including the ceiling. We've got these big OptiBrite lights right above. This thing's gonna be like daylight at night when they go to use it. It's gonna give them a lot of usable light. We love these OptiBrite lights. They're really low power draw, and they throw off a ton of light. This is really easy to jackknife down into a bed. Basically it folds over, you kick the legs down, and then they fold up flat here if you want to run a toy in. Just gives you some additional seating area, additional place to throw some kids if you need to. And then right here on the outside, we've got the fueling station. So this kind of just carries along the fenders here on the wheel wells. Nice clean look. You'll notice nothing looks janky on these trailers. They do a really good job making everything nice and clean. Another fold down shelf with another pop vent. And then we do have a day-night covers, the blackout curtains on all the windows and the windows in the door. Some hooks here. These are our heavy-duty bridle hooks. So they're actually aluminum, but they're powder coated, so they're nice and strong. They're not plastic. A lot of people think they look plastic, but they're something that can hold a substantial amount of weight. Great place to hang hooks, cords, anything like that. And then we do have power outlets back here, so if you've got anything you need to plug in an air compressor or anything, you've got the ability to throw that on. This is our ramp cable that we've used on a lot of these Freedoms. It kind of gets, instead of those big long cables with that spring up here, these are called sidearm assist, and they just kind of make it nice and out of the way, easy to use, because these doors are pretty heavy. These ramp doors, they're meant to have toys driven in them, so It's not something we could just do an exterior frame and sheet on. There's a lot of bracing on the underside of this ramp here. So having a ramp assist is a really nice option on this one. Like I said, we can still do an overhead cable, or there's a hydraulic option that we've been looking into as well. You can see that the camera system is on the reverse there. So we'll test that camera system here and make sure that everything's working for them. They've got two big 8-inch awning lights on the rear, and then that fin that you see on, that's become pretty well known on these Freedoms. That spoiler up there will help direct a lot of the air that swirls at the back of these trailers and gets sucked into the ramp. So your toy and all of your stuff tends to get really dirty. It's gonna help redirect that air away from your trailer. You'll notice that a lot of trailers with that spoiler that drive down dirt roads, you'll see a lot of snow and dirt buildup on trailers that don't have it. It really helps push that air away, keeps everything a lot cleaner on the inside. They do their best to seal, but it's a big door, so you do expect to have some air transfer through there, and we want to keep everything as clean as possible on the inside. All right, as we work our way over to this side, like I said, I do have my Onan 7000 gas gen running. That's going to be able to power both my ACs if I want to run them at the same time. This is my fuel fill, so it's really easy to access. It's on the same side for a lot of pumps, so if you pull up to get fuel, you can throw some more fuel in your trailer there. 40 gallons on this one. Our other Freedoms we were only able to fit 30, so we did some retrofitting to get them a little more fuel. This fueling station will have the ability to, it's got a pump, and then you can kind of see what your capacities are there. We also got that fuel gauge on the interior as well. Something that we've done on a lot of our trailers is these side indicator lights. Anything over a certain length on our inventory, and then almost every custom trailer I build does that side indicator. It acts as an additional marker light, acts as a brake light, and it acts as a turn signal. So since this trailer is so long, it's 8'4" wide, good chance if somebody's next to you, they probably can't see that you've got a turn signal on trying to get over. That's going to help somebody that maybe can't see the rear of your trailer or the rear of your truck know that you're trying to do something. The more indication we can give people, the safer we're going to be. So it's just a really nice safety feature, minimal cost to add, something we do on a lot of stuff. Up above there, you've got your gen door, all that exterior access for your battery and the vent pipe there. Under here we have our sewage and gray water holding. So like I said at the beginning, we do upgrade our capacities on these trailers. So instead of like a 30 gallon gray or black, we do 39 and 39. A little bit more storage there. This is your city water connection, and one of your water fresh fills here. So if you're boondocking and you need to fill both tanks, you've got one there and one on the other tank. That's the back side of your furnace here. Since this is an electric slide, if they ever got in a situation where they didn't have power, they couldn't get this slide in, there was a handle inside right next to that spare tire that they can take this cover off and they can wheel their slide in. So you're not just stranded on that. It's going to give you the ability to get it in and out. We are a 50 amp service because we do have those two ACs. So your power cord is going to go right here. We do a pressurized exterior spigot. So if you've got dogs to wash, feet to wash off, that's a really nice option. We do it on all of our horse trailers too. Just having an exterior that pulls off of those tanks is a really great thing to have. There's your secondary fuel or secondary water fill. So it just kind of gives you that option to have a lot of water on board. Now I know this was a long video, but I'm so excited for the customers to check this one out in person. I think they just did such a great job picking out and designing this trailer. I'm sure we're going to build a lot more pulling features from this one that they've built. If you want to check it out, We can always kind of start with this as a base. This one's sold. It's going to its new home soon, but the stock number is 5N241090. It is a 2025 Cimarron Freedom. If you guys have any questions on it, we would be more than happy to answer them for you. We love building custom trailers. Actually, that's all I do now. I build a lot of custom Cimarrons for people. So I kind of came out of retirement to do this video. I haven't done one for about 8 months, I think. But these customers were so excited to see it, and we wanted to hopefully do it justice and show off what a great product they built. So once again, my name is Callie Say. I work here in trailer sales. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. My number is 970-309-6368. Shoot me a text or give me a call, and I'd be more than happy to help you get into a trailer. So thanks so much for taking the time to tune in today, and we're excited to get this one to its new home. So have a great day.